Hurry Up Tomorrow. I just got out of watching the brand new movie starring The Weeknd and Jenna Ortega. And this is kind of like a companion piece to his album by the same name, which is fire by the way. That album is still album of the year for me, but we're not here to talk about the album. We're here to talk about the movie. The last time we saw The Weeknd try to act was in the show The Idol. That didn't go so well. They had to just cancel that. And he's back at it again, but playing himself in this psychological thriller. And this is also starring, or not starring, but it has Barry Keoghan in this as his manager Lee. And this movie is very fascinating because I didn't know what to expect going in. And I still don't know what the fuck I just watched walking out. But I will say this was a very surreal experience. Now, the movie begins, The Weeknd is kind of going through a breakup, a really bad breakup. He's really emotional about it. He's on tour. He's having these little crash out moments just through the voicemail. I'm just like, damn, bro, like you that emotional over this chick? Like you could have any other woman, but he just is just drowning in sadness and emotion, drugs, and he just really can't focus. And on the flip side of things, it's Jenna Ortega's character. She's like burning down this house, which ends up being her mom's house, which is fucking wild. And I was just like, okay. And there was red flags right immediately there. And then she ends up going to one of the Weeknd's concerts. And while the Weeknd's kind of going through all this emotional stuff and not able to kind of get his voice right, he's not able to kind of perform. And he locks eyes with Jenna Ortega's character, and she ends up going backstage, running after him, kind of running into him, and they end up having a good time with one another, just like kind of hanging out. And you're starting to think like this movie is going to turn into something nice, fluffy, warm. It's going to turn into one of those romance movies where, you have two lonely people finding love with one another. That's not what this movie is at all. Like, I'm not going to spoil what ends up happening, but I will say the movie does take a bit to kind of get to the point. It drags a bit in the first like 30 minutes. It was really sluggish, honestly. I didn't really like that. But then where it goes, it's really interesting. And it almost turns into like this living nightmare for The Weeknd, where it ended up being a night of just, two people just connecting, two lonely, depressed people, expressing their feelings with one another, just ends up turning into an absolute nightmare for The Weeknd. And it also becomes like this self-reflection of his character, which pretty much is the point of Hurry Up Tomorrow, the album. Like him kind of retiring this this character, The Weeknd, and wanting to be more of himself. And really interesting kind of way to depict it. I just don't know if it really comes across clear with this movie. Like, I do like the way it's shot. There are some callbacks. I will say, to kind of give you a hint of where this movie goes, think Misery. A little bit of Misery. That's all I'll say about that. But I feel like the album gets that point across better than the movie, because the movie does feel a bit confusing at times and a little random. A lot of things are visually told to you, not really told to you through the dialogue. And it kind of comes off like, what are we doing here? I could see some people's reaction being that. Other people might really love this movie. If you're a diehard Weeknd fan, you might really understand what this movie is going for. But if you're trying to get the concept of what The Weeknd is, you got to listen to his music. I think he does a better job through his music than the movie. You know what I'm saying? And Abel here, I think he has potential, because he definitely taps into a lot of emotional beats in this movie. Some are a little bit laughable, you know what I'm saying? Some people be like, yo, he's really acting like a bitch in this in a lot of cases. It's interesting. I want to see what he does next if he continues down this route. I think Jenna Ortega does a really good job. I think she is more so the standout, um, for me at least. Barry Keoghan, he's kind of like more of a supporting role, little role here and there. Overall, though, it's an interesting movie. I would say, should you go watch this in theaters? Um, yeah, if you want to, if you want to, have a double feature with this and Final Destination, I just don't think this movie is gonna hit for everybody. It's definitely gonna be middle of the road for a lot of people, unless if you're like a huge diehard fan. Even diehard fans, I feel like, will kind of be confused by this movie. But I do like the way the movie is shot cinematically. You know, it has a lot of cool shots. It's a lot of more visual than just kind of straight up telling you what certain things are about. But yeah, I want to know your thoughts if you get around to checking this out. Did you think it was absolute trash, boring, or did you actually enjoy this more than you thought? Let me know your thoughts. Till next time, I'm out.